She thought she was safe. She knew him, trusted him, even called him a friend. But on a quiet evening, that trust would lead her straight into a nightmare. Investigators would later describe it as deeply calculated. What happened next would shock detectives and leave one chilling question. Was this a tragic mistake or a plan all along? 28-year-old Adise Thompson was known for her warm smile and generous heart. Friends described her as careful, responsible, someone who always believed the best in people. She worked long hours, kept a small circle. She lived a quiet, predictable life. Nothing unusual about her routine until one person slowly became a permanent part of it. His name was Daniel. He was charming, helpful, always available when she needed someone. To Adise, he seemed trustworthy. To investigators later, he would become the center of a disturbing timeline. Daniel entered her life through mutual friends. At first, it was casual conversations, quick favors, late-night chats about work and life. He listened, showed concern, positioned himself as the one person she could rely on. Over weeks, their bond grew stronger. He knew her schedule, her routines, even the exact route she took home every night. That level of familiarity would later become a key detail detectives could not ignore. Because on the night everything changed, Daniel knew exactly where she would be. It was a Thursday evening. Adise left work later than usual, texting Daniel to let him know she was exhausted. He replied almost instantly, "Let me help you get home safely." To her, it sounded caring. To detectives later, it sounded rehearsed. She accepted the offer. That decision would be the last confirmed moment. She was seen alive. The next morning, her phone went straight to voicemail. Friends grew worried. By afternoon, a missing person report was filed. Then, hours later, police found her car. It was parked neatly by the roadside. No signs of struggle, no broken glass, no obvious evidence of violence. But something was wrong. Her phone, wallet, and bag were all left inside. Detectives immediately knew. People do not simply vanish like that. Someone had been with her, and records showed the last person she contacted was Daniel. Detectives began reconstructing her final hours. Phone records confirmed multiple calls between Adise and Daniel that night. Surveillance cameras then revealed something unsettling. Daniel's car had been near her usual route, almost an hour before she left work. Why was he already there? When questioned, Daniel calmly said, he was just passing through. But investigators weren't convinced. Because timing, in criminal investigations, is rarely coincidence. During questioning, Daniel remained composed. Too composed. He answered quickly, confidently, almost rehearsed. But then detectives presented new evidence. Traffic camera footage placing him directly behind Adise's car moments before it disappeared from view. For the first time, his calm expression cracked. He adjusted in his chair, paused before answering, and that hesitation spoke louder than any words. Detectives pressed further. Then came the turning point. Forensic teams discovered faint traces of cleaning chemicals inside Daniel's car. Not enough to confirm what happened, but enough to raise serious suspicion. When confronted, Daniel changed his story. First, he said he dropped her off safely. Then he claimed she asked him to leave. Then, he said he couldn't remember clearly. 3 different versions. One undeniable pattern: deception. At that moment, detectives realized this was no longer a missing person case. It was now a criminal investigation. Piece by piece, the truth began to unfold. Witnesses reported seeing the two arguing that night. Phone messages revealed tension growing between them days before her disappearance. Investigators believed Daniel had grown obsessed, controlling, unwilling to accept distance when she tried to step back. What Adise thought was friendship may have been something far darker. Trust misread as loyalty, kindness mistaken for attachment. And when she tried to create space, the situation escalated in ways no one expected. Detectives later described the case as a tragic lesson in misplaced trust. There was no forced entry, no stranger attack, no random encounter. Instead, the danger came from someone already inside her circle, someone she believed meant well. And that is what shocked investigators the most. Because sometimes, the greatest threats don't come from the unknown. They come from the familiar, from the people we never imagined could hurt us. This case remains a haunting reminder. Trust should be given carefully, and instincts should never be ignored. If you found this story compelling, subscribe for more true crime cases that uncover the disturbing truths behind real-life investigations. Because sometimes, the most chilling stories are the ones that begin with trust.